Hello everybody. Today we will learn about J.R.D. Tata. You might be knowing so many successful industrialists, but today we will learn about J.R.D. Tata, his qualities and the working style of J.R.D. Tata, which helps Tata Group of Company to get identity in the international market. So let's see what is there in this article. The year 2004 was significant for the Tata Group as it marked the 100th birth anniversary of J.R.D. Tata and Naval Tata and the death centenary of Jamshedji Tata. For two generations and more, J.R.D. epitomized a way of life and a culture of business that cared for the country and its people. This article was written in the year 2004, which was considered as a significant for Tata Group of Company as it is the 100th birth anniversary of J.R.D. Tata and Naval Tata and the death centenary of Jamshedji Tata. For two generations and more, J.R.D. has set a life and a culture of business that care for the country and its people. The wealth gathered by Jamshedji Tata and his sons in half a century of industrial pioneering formed but a minute fraction of the amount by which they enriched the nation. The whole of that wealth is held in trust for the people and used exclusively for their benefit. The cycle is thus complete. What came from the people has gone back to the people many times over. J.R.D. Tata. This is said by J.R.D. Tata that whatever the wealth they have gathered, Jamshedji Tata and his son gathered in half a century of industrial pioneering, the beginning of the industrial world, that formed a fraction of amount, whatever amount they have earned, it helps to enrich the nation also. The whole of the wealth, the property, the money which they have earned, with the trust of the people, they used exclusively for the benefit of the people. That is said by J.R.D. Tata that whatever we have earned from the people, we have given it back to the people in the form of some different benefit. Thus, the cycle is completed. Okay, the cycle of give and take is completed. That whatever came from the people has gone back to them many times over. Okay, by multiplying that thing, he has returned it to the people. That means he had helped, he gave his best to nurture even the nation or enriched the nation. Born in Paris on July 29, 1904, Jehangir Ratanji Dadabhai Tata was the second child of Ratanji Dadabhai Tata and his French wife Suni. Established in 1859, the Tata Group was already India's biggest business conglomerate when Tata became its fourth chairman in 1938. He was then just 34 years old. So he born in Paris on July 29. His date of birth is July 29, 1904. That's why 2004 is considered as the century 100th birth anniversary of J.R.D. Tata. His full name is Jehangir Ratanji Dadabhai Tata, and he is the second. He was the second child of Ratanji Dadabhai Tata and his French wife Suni. Established in 1859, the Tata Group. The Tata Group was established in 1859, was already made a big name in India's business world. Okay, when Tata took the charge of a chairman in the year 1938, when he took the charge, he was the fourth chairman of Tata Group of Company, and at that time he was just 34 years old. He took charge in 1938 at the age of 34 years as, as fourth chairman of Tata Group of Company. Under his leadership, the Tata assets climbed from rupees 62 crore in 1939 to over rupees 10,000 crore in 1990. Under his leadership, when he took the charge of a chairman, in his leadership, the company grows rapidly. Okay, from the earning turnover of 62 crores a year in the year 1939, by the time it reaches to 1990, the turnover of the company increased to 10,000 crore, from 62 crore to 10,000 crore. During the last half of the 20th century, Tata entered several new businesses, many of them unconventional, and produced a vast range of products. From airlines to hotels, trucks to locomotives, soda ash and other heavy chemicals to pharmaceuticals and financial services, tea and air conditioning to lipsticks and cologne. That means no part is left from them to get into the to do the business. So during last half of the 20th century, last half of the 20th century, Tata entered into various type of business world. Okay, so these are the list where they have performed, so where they have entered in the business world, from a small product to the big product of which is the requirement of common people. The group seemed to make everything and do everything. So the Tata Group seems that they will make everything and they will do everything what can be done. Okay, one of the Tata's earliest achievement was to cajole 10 rival cement companies to merge and form the associated cement companies run by Tatas. So that is the big achievement, that they have merged around 10 cement rivalry cement companies in under their head. Okay, they merged them and they started working with their title, okay, with their heads. JRD strengthened existing businesses such as steel, power and hotels. These are their existing business which his ancestors have already settled in various countries. Okay, he worked to strengthen the existing running business. Though even though he is working on bringing up new type of getting into the new type of business, he also worked on strengthening the existing business like steel, powers and hotels. As an industrialist, JRD Tata is credited with placing the Tata Group on the international map. As an industrialist, his work, his achievements helps the group of company, Tata Group of company, to stood in the international map. As an aviator and pioneer flyer, he brought commercial aviations to India. He is a very, actually he loves flying. Okay, he's a good aviator. So he brings aviations in India. As a patron of the arts, he was revered by India's artists, sculptors and performing artists. Under JRD's tutelage, the Tata became the biggest buyers, promoters and supporters of the art world in India, and as a philanthropist, he was respected for keeping alive and building up the tremendously active Tata Charitable Trust. Not only in business, but JRD have a attraction or a love or towards the arts. So this company, JRD is a person, is a man who gave uh, identity to the Indian artists, cultures, sculpture makers, okay, different performing artists, different types of artists. He always supports those all the artists in country, and he is considered as the biggest buyer and promoters and supporter even. He bought the arts, he do marketing, he promotes the artists, and he supports the art form, art culture of India, okay, in the world. And as a philanthropist, he's been respected for keeping alive the arts. As a businessman, nowadays businessmen are not at all interested in art and culture and anything, but he's tremendously active, very active through his Tata Charitable Trust. Okay, made there is a Tata Charitable Trust that helps, promotes, and buy and motivate and support the artist to help to get them identity in the world. Now, that as a human, now as a leader and motivator, how he was. Leadership, according to JRD, meant motivating others. As chairman, my main responsibility is to inspire respect. Sometimes referred to as the chairman's chairman, JRD adopted a management by consensus style. Okay, he is, according to him, a leader should be someone who motivate. Okay, he said that as a chairman, it is my responsibility to inspire respect. How one can inspire respect? By giving respect to the employees, by giving identity to the employees, by taking care of the employees, he can develop respect from their side. So he said that as a chairman, it is my responsibility is to inspire respect. I should not beg, I should not snatch respect from anybody, but I should do work as to develop or to inspire others to respect. Okay, he is sometimes referred as the chairman's chairman. He has a different style of uh, he is a different style of management. Okay, when a number of persons are involved, I am definitely a conscientious man. He once said, adding, but that does not mean that I do not disagree or that I do not express my views. Basically, it is a question of having to deal with individual men heading different enterprises. You have to adapt yourself to their ways and deal accordingly and draw out the best in each man. If I have any merit, it is getting on with individuals according to their ways and characteristics. So he's telling he has a different kind of working style, a different kind of management. Said that I remain conscientious during the meeting and during discussion on certain topic. That doesn't mean that I always let others speak and always believe what they said. Even I disagree on some point, but I didn't force them to change their view, as I believe that they have in individual field, in their particular field, they might have their own ideas as an enterprise, and I try to understand them, and if I find it okay with that, means I never showed my bossiness on them. I just let them speak freely. I'll make them a I give them a platform where they can express properly, and if I find it good, I accept it and I let them go on their own way. And that is the quality he has as a leader, and that's why he's been called as chairman's chairman. In 50 years, I have dealt with 100 top directors and I have got on with all of them. At times, it involves suppressing yourself. It is painful but necessary. To be a leader, you have got to lead human beings with affection. So he's telling that in 50 years, I've dealt with lots of hundreds of directors, top level directors, and I have got on with all of them. Okay, I met with all of them. I did business with all of them. But at times when sometimes I find that they are so bossy, they are dominating, they are firm with their thoughts. And of course, it hurts me. It is very painful. But it is necessary to develop my business. I have to cope up with them, and that is his working style. So he said that according to him, what he felt is, to be a leader, you should have you should lead the human beings with affection. And with this thought, or with this motto only, this company works. I think till now it works on that, with that motto. Okay, they have that mission only, to get the affection of the people. They treat their workers as human beings. Okay, be that as it may, Tata spotted talent easily, and that may be the reason that he has the quality to spot talent very easily. Okay, because he gave freedom for others to speak, to present, to give their ideas, and that may be the reason that he is easily spot talent, unlike other businessmen or directors who are very bossy or dominating in their field. Okay, and once he was confident that a manager would perform, he gave him a long hope. And not only that, once he find out the talent in someone, he gave that person a long hope of being with him and giving him more opportunity to develop themselves. If they wanted to be on their own, like Sumant Mulgaonkar, he left them to it. And he helped them and let them do work independently. If they want to do their own, he let them do. Okay, which is a different style. Generally, directors, chairmen, they don't want others to take their own path after working under them. But he is not like them. He let them go. He give them freedom to work. And if they occasionally wanted a shoulder to cry on, like Darbari said, JRD was there. It's not that he just let them work independently, but while doing business independently, if someone find stuck on their way to business and they need someone to support, okay, this man, this JRD Tata, was there with them to give his shoulder to cry. That means he remains with them to help in their difficult times also. The supportive climate he built developed entrepreneurs such as Sir Homi Modi, Sir Ardeshir Dalal, Sir Jehangir Gandhi, Rusi Modi, Sumant Mulgaonkar, and Darbari Seth, and others who created billions in wealth for group and the country. Okay, because of his this style of working, he gave support. He just develop, or he bring up so many enterprises. These are the list of the entrepreneurs, and on many more are there whom he gave chance, who earned a lot for themselves and for the Tata Group also, and for the country as well. It was an environment where scientists and international repute such as Homi Bhabha, leading lawyers such as J.D. Choksi and Nana Palkhiwala, and economics such as John Mathai, A.D. Schraub, D.R. Pentse, and Freddie Mehta could flourish under his uh, under him only. He has provided in not only to the entrepreneur, but he also supported and gave opportunity to the leading lawyers, to the scientists, to the economists to flourish in their own field. Okay, Tata's personal interest in technology combined with India's isolation in the 1950s and 1960s spurred several group companies, particularly Tata Steel and Tata Chemicals, to innovate in their fields. So he has personal interest in technology. Okay, Tata has interest in technology, and during 1950 to 1960, as we all know, that was the time when India just got independent and was on the way to develop. Okay, some new businesses were just developing in country. At that time, he bring up several group of companies, especially in the field of steels and chemicals. A Benning boss. According to Tata, the crux of any successful labor policy lay in making workers feel wanted. One of the inherent drawbacks of modern industry with its large and concentrated labor force was that each man felt that instead of being a valued members of a friendly and human organization, he was a mere cog in a soulless machine. So here it is telling that according to Tata feels that the successful labor policy of a company should be let them feel wanted. Okay, let the workers feel that they are wanted by the company. Okay, Com they don't want company, but the company needs them. Company should give them value. Okay, and that's what is that is the drawback in today's industrial world, where the workers, the laborers, they feel that instead of a normal human being in the organization, they are working there as a soulless machine. The machine, they are working like a machine who don't have any soul, any feeling, any oneness, uh, any wantedness from the company side, as if you're working for the money, we are working for the money, so you come, you work for this many hours and you go back, take your money and go back. No feeling, nothing, no close uh, attachment between employers and employees is there in today's world. And because of this, workers attitude towards the management becomes very indifferent. Workers don't find any their management to be uh, don't find it as their own. They don't feel that it is our management, we should work for for our organization. They are just working for the sake of money, and the management and the company is taking work from them as the machine, just to complete the work on time or complete the target and earn money. That's the relationship, that's the form of relationship in today's industrial world. And it is like that the workers just working, and they always have the mindset that they may get victim of their this unfair treatment, the treatment which companies are giving them. They are not taking them as a normal human being as well. That can create conflicts, and that's why you might have heard that there is a strike from this company, that company, those company, because of the unsatisfactory behavior of uh, management, and on the other side laborers as well. Tata Steel became one of the earliest companies in India to have a dedicated human resource department. Okay, this is the company Tata Steel, which is running from generations in this under the roof of Tata Group, have a dedicated human resource department. It itself is carrying nowadays. Actually, companies are taking are dealing with some other firms who are specially made for providing human resource, but Tata in itself had its own human resource department, and expressing surprise that the company had functions for so long without one, Tata commented, if our operations required the employment of say 30,000 machine tools, we would undoubtedly have a special staff or department to look after them, to keep them in repair, replace them when necessary, maintain their efficiency, protect them from damage, etc. So, to be very surprisingly, Tata once said that the company is not taking any, is never tied up or never hire human resource in his company for getting some work done. Okay, that if our company need around 30,000 machine tools for some project, if our company need 30,000 machine tools, I need not hire workers from anywhere else. I myself have the human resource to handle it, to I have a good number of staff members available at my firm who can replace it, who can repair it, who can run it, who can work on it very efficiently. That is something which is very surprising, because 30,000 machine tools to handle within no minute of time without taking help of any outside labor power. It is a great technique or achievement of this company. But when employing 30,000 human beings, each with a mind and soul of his own, we seems to have assumed that they would look after themselves and that there was no need for a separate organization to deal with the human problem involved. So that means he has a big big group of employing people in under his roof, and it is not easy. We can say, we can just imagine that how lovingly they are handling their manpower, that each and every one work for the company with the soul of his own, okay, with the mind and soul of his own, that each and every labor has the feeling that this is my company. They take it personally for this organization because they have been treated like that. That is the trend of this company, to treat their employees as their own, as they are wanted for the company. Okay, so it is not easy to handle this thing. They don't want any other outsiders involvement for treating or handling any single member of the company. Jahangir Ratanji Dadabhai Tata died in Geneva on November 29, 1993, and made his money in India. So he died in the year 1993 in Geneva. Okay, few addressed him with the full pomposity of the name with which he was born. He was simply JRD to the world. And to his friends, JRD was India's most well-known industrialist, widely respected for his enormous contribution to the development of Indian industry and aviation in particular. So he died at in the year 1993. Very few people knows him with his full name, with the name with which he born. Everybody, almost everybody knows him as JRD. Okay, JRD is well known as JRD even among his friends. Okay, he was one of the most well-known industrialist in India. He is very widely respected, okay, for his great contribution in the development of India. You can imagine from the age 1938, 1945, 40, 50, he has started lots of business in India that provides job opportunity even to the people who were when India was just on the uh, uh, India was just taking steps to move towards the developing mode of the country. At that time, his contribution was very great and was well known and has been respected for that. And not only that, for aviation, especially in particular in India, he is the man who brings. Tata headed India's largest industrial conglomerate with uncommon success. But this was only one aspect of his life. He was also a man of great sensitivity and was pained by the poverty he saw around him and sought vigorously to alleviate it. He also was a philanthropist who wanted India to be a happy country and did all he could to make it so. A patron of the sciences and the arts, and a man with a passion for literature, fast cars, skiing, and flying. So JRD was one of the highest rankers industrialist. Okay, other than that is to be an successful industrialist, other than that, he has other side of his life, that he is very sensible person. He felt bad when he saw poverty around him, and do he tried to do whatever he can for them to uplift, to elevate them from that level. He always want India to be a very happy place, happy country to live in, and he did whatever he can to make this happen. And as a patron of science, he has he has full respect, he has lots of respect for science and arts. He bring that part also up, and he gave opportunity for lots of artists and scientists to be identified and to be successful in country. And he has, other than that, he has passion for literature, for fast cars, skiing and flying. So this is all about JRD Tata. That's all from this article. Thank you.